Hey, you. Yeah, you, the podcast listener. Are you a basketball fan? Honestly, probably not. If you're listening to this classic podcast, you're probably a basketball sicko, and that's why you should know that with Sling TV, you can get every playoff game for the best price, hands down. All for just $35 a month. You'll get all the upsets, the comebacks, buzzer beaters, alley-oops, Game 7s, baby! Foul-outs, tip-offs, crossovers, dynasties, and rivalries. You get and ones, three-pointers, and if you're lucky, a very solid play or a big beef. Yeah, there's a lot to love about playoff basketball, and you can get it all with Sling for the best price. But there's still more to watch. It's not basketball every single night, people. Sling has your favorite live sports, news, and popular TV shows on channels like ESPN, TNT, TBS, MSNBC, CNN, and more. Sling is easy to set up and easy to use. You can stream on any device and record up to 50 hours with included DVR space. And one more time, did I mention you can watch every playoff basketball game for the best price with Sling? Go into sicko mode and check out sling.com for special offers. Sling, the live TV you love for a price you'll love. Try it today.
Hey man, y'all gotta stop naming y'all children these old names. I do not want to pick up, babysit, rock, or feed Derek. Derek is a 28-year-old doctorate graduate. There should be no reason a 1-month-old is named Brenda, when we all know Brenda's about that life and fights in Shell Station parking lots. Why do I have to babysit Diane when Diane has her own grandkids?
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Thursday, May 26th. Here we are, back in the Classic Factory. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, we got Tass Mellis.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Tass? We got our Top Shot Hot Boy, struggling with his earpiece.
Hey.
It's Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Hey,
yo.
We got back here in the factory, International Man of Mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Leigh, and last, certainly not least, over yonder, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Hit that like button, subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube, comment away, share the show. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. And we see TK, who has finally figured out his earpiece. All good over there?
Yeah, the silicone tip got stuck in my canal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. He's rocking the Vancouver jersey that we posted yesterday over at nodunks.com. Yeah, look at the detail he's pointing out here on the trim. But that one's gone, people.
Sorry, suckers.
Yeah, the Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys sold out yesterday in like 4 or 5 hours. So thank you to everybody that bought one. They are fire. But the Denver jersey, there's a few left. All right, in sizes large and extra large. That's all that remains. So go to nodunks.com if you want one of those sweet No Dunks Nuggets jerseys. You were rocking one of those yesterday, Trey.
Yeah, I wore it on the show yesterday. Wore it to do errands around the city yesterday as well. Dropped Yams off to get her nails trimmed. So, I had to walk over to Target, find a bag of LeBron James chips. Twice. 2 separate guys yelled at me, "Hey, man, I like that jersey."
Wow.
I was like, thanks. One guy even followed up. Like I was getting in my car. He was sitting in his car. We were car to car with each other, and he said to me, "Hey man, I like that jersey." And that's what we're teaching them too. No dunks. Back like when we played.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And none of this padding they're wearing either. We're going back old school. I was like, hell yeah. That was awesome.
You must have high-fived that guy. You must have got out and just had a big high five. And a
I
big
just honked my horn at him.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, join the club.
Yeah.
Go get a Nuggets.
I wanted to give him the jersey off my back.
Right.
Ooh,
But I know there was limited quantity.
You could have done the photo though, the jersey.
like in Vegas.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I'm going back to Target today then.
Yeah.
there's probably less than 14 left at this point, so go to nodunks.com if you want to get one of those jerseys. And thanks again to everybody that's already grabbed one. Breaking Tea, knocking these out of the park. They are very, very nice. Later today, over on the No Buffs YouTube feed. Trey, JD, myself, and a special guest, I'm not going to say who it is going to break down last night's Survivor finale, which was, we're talking 3 hours of Survivor last night, so lots to talk about. That's going to go live around 2 p.m. Eastern here on Thursday over on No Buffs on the YouTube feed. And
just laughing at this graphic that we're looking at. What a crew of characters.
It's like serious, small grin, big grin, mouth wide open, mouth 100% wide open.
I believe this is when Mr. Jeff said, your reward will include meat sauce.
Do you like pasta? Yeah! I called it. What about meat sauce? Yeah.
He went pasta, then he said garlic bread, then he went
garlic bread.
Meat sauce.
Like Michael, garlic bread.
Then he said cake, and then he said red wine. What a weird order, I feel like.
That was a strange one.
Anyway, we'll talk about the finale last night. Taz, don't say anything.
No, I wasn't going to.
Somebody won.
Okay. Yeah, somebody won.
Yeah,
But there's 5 food items.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a great piece. It must have been edited that way. Now you bring it up because there was 4 cheers. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Pizza. No, sorry, pasta.
Garlic bread. Then meat sauce.
Yeah.
And then I think he said cake.
Yeah.
And then the last one was red wine.
That's when you gotta.
Well, I think I'm not sure if Marianne drinks.
Yeah, Marianne doesn't drink or something. Yeah,
oh my god. No buff. Oh my god. Did you get stuck again? What's going on?
I got bad ear sizes. I think my ears are a little too narrow for the medium, but a little too big for the small. So I rock in the medium.
Well, hopefully you don't have that problem with our No Dunks jerseys.
No, people were asking. I wear an extra large.
Okay.
So I had multiple people say, "Hey, what size should I order?" I know we got large and extra large left. So if you think you're about my size, maybe you are.
Yeah, jerseys are tough because you can go you can go tight, like almost like a real tank top.
Yeah.
You can go baggier.
Yeah.
What do you prefer?
Well, to play in, I don't like baggier. I prefer a tighter fit.
Yeah.
But to wear in a casual way, I think you want a little bit.
You don't want it too tight.
Nah, you don't want to have to suck the old belly in while you're walking around either. You want to be able to just wear it and almost hide a little bit of that extra carriage that maybe you have as you get a bit older.
Hide the carriage.
Hide the carriage.
Okay, a final little piece of news here. We are going to get to the game. Next week, okay, I want everybody to put this on their calendars right this second. Tuesday night, around 7 p.m. Eastern, we're all going to come back here to the Classic Factory because we're once again doing a St. Jude's fundraiser for the Children's Hospital. We did this, was it last year or 2 years ago?
It was last year.
Last year, okay. With our guy Sam across the pond over in the UK. We had a blast. Now, we were all doing it at Zoom at that point, but we're going to be here. We got a bunch of fun giveaways, and we're going to do a couple hours from the Classic Factory on Tuesday, May 31st, around 7 p.m. Eastern, trying to raise as much money as possible for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Be there.
Do we have a goal
it was a good
in
time.
mind? What did we do?
Last year we did 28K, and then NBA Top Shot came in and dropped in another 10K. So we're gonna start it at 30K.
Oh, wow. I love it. Wow, 30K one night.
I think our initial goal last year was...
I think it was like 5 or 10K.
Or 10.
And we did it in like 3 minutes.
The stream team laughed at that.
Yeah.
They destroyed it. So come destroy it on Tuesday.
Okay.
May 31st.
This could be a blast. I can't wait for that. Okay. We got a little Is This News on today's show. We got Tweet of the Night, of course, but we start with the playoff game from last night, and it was the Celtics running past the Heat 93-80. That was the final score. No scoring affair, and the Boston Celtics are now 1 win away from the NBA Finals. So, Trey, get us started here, man. What do you think of this one?
Well, you know I love a good tale of two halves.
Okay.
This was a sick and twisted tale of two halves. We've all been asking for a close conference finals game, and we got a close one in the first half, but it was definitely a be careful what you wish for sort of deal. It was close. 5 points at half. As the graphic said, going to halftime. First time all series, a game within 5 at halftime, which is good. But the score was 42-37 Heat. The teams had combined for 20 assists and 17 turnovers. Both teams under 40% from the field. Celtics were on fire from 3, though, 25%. Whew. I think it was like 18% for Miami. We asked for a close game in the conference finals, but we got a close game from the 1997 conference finals. You heard a lot of first team to 80 wins. And that turned out to be true, but not the way that people were expecting, because at halftime, the Celtics transported Back to the Future. The Heat stayed stuck in 1997. Boston scored the first 8 of the third quarter to take the lead. Max Strus hit a couple of free throws, got the lead back for the Heat. The teams went back and forth for a little bit. Boston finished the third on a 10-0 run. You hear on broadcasts all the time, the start of the quarters are big, the end of the quarters are big. Who cares what happens in the middle?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but 18-0 in the first 2 and last 2 minutes combined for Boston. I think they went on a 24-2 run was kind of the biggest thing stretched out. Had a big lead heading into the fourth and really hit the gas. They got to 80 with 9 minutes left on a Jaylen Brown 3. He hit another one a minute later to give him 83 points. Miami was still stuck at 60. Somehow this turned into a blowout too. Even though Miami did make it a little bit respectable in the end, got the lead under 20, kept it there, but it didn't really feel like they were threatening in the fourth quarter. They did finally get to 80 points, though, on an Omer Yurtseven hook shot with about a minute left. But we got a close game and a blowout in the same game. A weird result. This has been a weird series, but it definitely feels like Boston, they're in the driver's seat. They've got a 3-2 lead. They're heading back to Beantown. And they looked a lot better than the Heat did in the second half of that game.
They looked healthier, I think, as well. I think Jimmy Butler probably wouldn't have played this game if it was a regular season game. Maybe not even Kyle Lowry as well. And I think that's really... Kyle Lowry was awful last night. He's got no sort of power in his legs. I mean, he went 0 for 5 from downtown, 0 for 6. Max Strus as well. Now, there's no excuse for him. He just had a stinker. But I think Jimmy Butler, 4 for 18. He just can't sort of go in and impose his will like he did in the first 2 games of the series, and we've seen him throughout the playoffs. So Boston, despite all that, really didn't drop the hammer until that third quarter, where they pulled away. They went on that run. Brown and Tatum started to look much better. But for the Miami Heat now, they've got to go to Boston and win a game to get back to play another game. I just don't even know if they've got that in them for their star players. I mean, Bam was okay there for them last night, but he, after that game 3, where he was totally dominant, that was now the outlier for him for this series.
Yeah,
like
he had like a 2 to 3 minute stretch in last night's game.
Yeah.
And otherwise, I thought he was just as invisible as the guys injured in Butler and Lowry. I didn't think he had a great game overall.
No, I just think for the Heat he was probably their best player.
The crowd was like urging him to like do something. Every time Bam had the ball, they're like, you hear the swelling of the crowd, like attack, score, because
he wasn't even
Butler's
looking at the rim a lot of the time.
No, he like gets it. And then he's like, has a decision already made that I'm kicking it back out.
Yep.
It's very, very strange. Sorry, Dave.
No, but I mean, on top of that, because I saw as well the tweets about, welcome back to the 90s. But, as someone who followed the NBA from the 80s and 90s, I didn't want to go back to this. 17 for 78 they shot from 3 combined, the teams. Just firing away. So, yeah, Boston, it's not like Boston went out there and just imposed their will and dominated. It was like they just weren't as bad as Miami was last night. And they sort of fell over the line there and get this win. But Boston now goes home with obviously a really good chance to close this series out and get to the finals, and they should, because as I've mentioned before, the injuries I think are catching up to the Heat, and I think for the Celtics, even then, Marcus Smart's still probably not 100%. No. Robert Williams, it feels like he's kind of playing on about 75% right now, but
Tatum with his arm,
yeah, exactly. Tatum with the shoulder there. So the Celtics have sort of gotten to this point where it's like, okay, you've got to close it out in 6 if you can, and get ready for the likely the Warriors starting next week. But a weird, ugly game last night. Not one you need to go back and rewatch. Just see the score and go, okay, Boston won.
What do you think, Tess?
Well, coming out of the half, after we had an ugly first half, you think, all right, we've seen 4.5 ugly games here. But third quarter here, this is kind of the series for the Heat. They have to come out, and it was just shocking to see how abysmal they were, how they couldn't hit a shot. One team with the young legs, Jason Tatum, came out and took care of business. He was pretty awful in the first half shooting the ball. He was setting guys up, but he came out, the young legs, in the third quarter and fourth, and was great, going from 1 of 9 in the first half to 6 of 11 in the second half. You just need one guy from the Heat. One guy, and there wasn't one. And it was surprising to see Jimmy Butler play the way he played, because he is known as a 16-game player to get you to the NBA Finals. And yeah, of course, he didn't look like anything like himself. He just missed shots. Now, they were giving him space because they didn't want him to go into bodies and be able to get to the free throw line, but there was a lot of air balls up there. Airball.
He airballed one that looked like 3 feet short.
Yeah. From the three-point line.
I was like, was that a pass? Yeah.
They just gave it to him. And he put one over the rim from about 8 feet away. What is this version of Jimmy Butler? I mean, we're going to get to Joel Embiid's tweets later, but he needed help. Is this Jimmy Butler not able to play 60+ games and then be the guy that you can rely on to get you to the finals? Maybe that's what he's become. Maybe he needs somebody to help him out. And obviously Bam was the guy to supposedly help him out, but he wasn't there. And then the backcourt. You mentioned Kyle Lowry going into half. I've never seen him more mad missing that half court or that pull-up three that Kyle Lowry is known for. At the end of the second quarter, he clanked it, was really, really pissed. He was 0-6 in this game, has had a brutal series when he has played. Max Strus, his backcourt mate, also 0-for. And the guys who were supposed to come help out after Victor Oladipo probably earned himself some money there in Game 4, had the best game of the Miami Heat for the Miami Heat in that game, came out and was very bad in this one. He was 1 of 7. Talking about air balls, he clanked a couple off the backboard there, and Tyler Herro wasn't there to save the day. Gabe Vincent was their best backcourt player, who was a really good supporting player this season and kind of had it going in this game, dropping 15. But somebody else had to help, and they're just, when you only get to 80 points, it's poor performances across the board. And so a very, very deflating situation here where you got to just think that Jimmy is not able to be anywhere close to what we know peak Jimmy to be. And maybe it's just, the injury, I suppose, but he did play in Game 4 and tried to battle through it and had a bad game. So, maybe he wouldn't have played if it was a regular season game, but just the air ball is it's just, what is this? It doesn't seem like, an all-world basketball player, so I guess
not even imposing his will in the game either.
Not at all.
4 free throws or something like that in the end for Jimmy.
Mm-hmm. 4 free throws, just a handful of attempts in the restricted area. Ime Udoka said, we're playing him like a big. Like, they've got Horford and Williams guarding Bam and Jimmy Butler, and they're just dropping every single time and saying, okay, try to beat us with a jumper. We know you don't have your legs to get to the rim. Also, we got a ton of size waiting for you there. Try and take some jumpers. That's not Jimmy Butler's game. He's got to make free throws, especially for the Heat to be efficient in the half court. But he just doesn't look like the same guy right now. No. And, I remember when he sat for Game 5 of the Atlanta series, we were all just thinking, he's just resting. There's nothing seriously wrong here. But he's not moving the same way. He doesn't have the same explosion. He doesn't obviously have the same athleticism at the rim right now. So that's why Bam has to step up. He has to handle the ball. That to me is when Bam looks his best. It's when he's bringing the ball up the court. It doesn't give Horford and Williams a chance to set up and just wait for him to try and attack. It's a little bit more scattershot. So they need Bam to do a little bit of what Jimmy Butler has been able to do when they look the best and control the tempo and just make plays out in the open court.
I thought what was frustrating from the Heat, lots of missed shots. All right, it's happening. They can't hit the rim at times. But Victor Oladipo had 2 shots from three-point land where he went way right. Both glass, same possession. I guess you're off. But later in that quarter, where the Heat were so desperate in the third quarter for a bucket because the Celtics are picking this thing up, they had a 2-on-1. Jimmy and Victor Oladipo handling the ball. All right, just run a 2-on-1. And Victor Oladipo gave up the ball so early, like at the 3-point line. Jason Tatum was able to go over to Jimmy Butler, stop him, and then Butler passed it over to Oladipo for a foul, and they weren't able to score. And that's just simple, 2-on-1. Why give it up? Why allow that guy to commit over there to Jimmy Butler when you could have easily had a layup? I mean, make Jason Tatum come to you and just give the ball up. So it's some basic stuff that really hurt them. They could have scored 81 points in this game is what I'm saying.
They've averaged 81 in the last 2 games now. They scored 82
they can't score.
No.
And the Celtics defense is awesome. I mean, even the way they're playing it, who they're leaving open, forcing Jimmy to shoot and try and beat us from the outside. Just like Derek White and Al Horford's defense alone has just been unreal how locked in they are. And I think both those guys had great games on both ends of the floor once again. Well, so it's I just don't want to say it's just because the Heat are missing.
No.
This is the Celtics defense, which are only going 7 guys basically at this point now too. They're always playing their ass off.
But you can hear Mike Breen on that second one, I think, from Oladipo going, or you could hear the thud.
There was some crazy misses.
But
there were some houses built last night. Strong houses.
It was.
Would you rather have 2 back-to-back bricks, Oladipo style, or 2 back-to-back air balls, Jimmy Butler style?
It's a tough one because the bricks, the sound, you can at least, again, I think we sort of talked about, you can fake that someone maybe got a bit of a hand on it. You do the that slipped or something like that, but the thuds, like, you can't hide from those.
You can't hide from the thuds.
No.
Yeah, and the tale of two halves, back to how you started this whole thing. Jaylen Brown, I mean, wow.
The protagonist.
He was bad, Jaylen Brown, in the first half. He was like getting his pocket picked all the time. He had 4 turnovers, I think. He wasn't hitting a lot. It was like, here's another bad Jaylen Brown game. And then the second half, Tatum got it going, you're right, Tass, but so did Brown, where those 3 threes that he hit in like a small span, he had the big dunk. And it just became like, it was a garbage game because no one could score. And the defense is amazing on both sides, don't get me wrong. But then it was like, well, somebody, who is just going to be the better shot maker here for a stretch? And it was, of course, the team with the younger guys in Tatum and Brown, maybe the more desperate guys that haven't been to the finals yet here. They came through, where Butler... Is it injury based? Probably. Lowry, and then sort of Bam, who did some work on the boards. I don't want to discredit him there. He was fighting there, but those guys didn't. No, and they just couldn't hit shots. But Brown and Tatum sure did. When it mattered.
Yeah, Tatum said after the game, we played 5 years together. I knew he was starting to feel it. I was going to give him the ball, and I thought that even though Tatum stunk in the first half, his passes, he knew he could set guys up. There's some beauty passes, some money passes from the lane, setting guys up, and with 9 assists. It was pretty to watch. But the Celtics got away with the game, as you said, those turnovers where they had they were just giving it away again. But they got away with it because, the Heat absolutely couldn't score. And much kudos to Derek White. I didn't expect another Derek White game, but he came off the bench and was really a catalyst in that first half. Yeah. He was kind of the glue that held this team together. Tyler Herro did that in Game 1 for the Miami Heat when they were just bunking it all over the place. They needed a guy off the bench. He helped. Obviously, Tyler Herro, looking the way he did, dressed on the sideline yesterday, unable to help on the floor. Great look. Cool look. But Derek White, baby, I didn't expect 2 aggressive games back-to-back. 14 points, 5 assists, and just real aggressive, sometimes overly aggressive. He had 3 turnovers caused by, just throwing his body around, but that was needed. Good for him. Good. And one of those moments you don't often see in basketball, he was hustling back to create a steal situation, so he's beelining it to his own hoop, got the steal and jumped over the baseline, and he was underneath his own hoop, and he's looking around. What am I going to do with it? I got nowhere to go, and he just landed out of bounds.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys try and just save that anyway, and it can backfire.
Yeah, that was cool. Just something cool. I think one of the coolest things in the game yesterday. Wow. We're desperate.
Well, you know what else was cool? If we're talking cool things from that sort of weird game, the Time Lord's block that they kept showing over and over again. To who did he block on that 3? Was it Vincent?
Yes, I think it was. Yeah.
That
where
was
he came from.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, the guy, and he's playing on one bum leg, and that just looked so. Just getting his fingertips coming from the paint all the way out to the 3-point line and blocking it. And he's done that before, but it just looks awesome in slow mo.
Those young legs and the athleticism, he can get out there and cover all that ground. But then that's just what the Heat don't have right now. They don't have guys able to do that. So he's been a big factor, Robert Williams, when he's been on the court in this series. And I mean, it's huge for him. So it's great. Defensive highlight.
Yeah.
Don't see a whole lot of them.
Let me just go over how crazy the massive swings have been in this series, because I think it's fun to illustrate. In Game 1, Miami went on a 44-14 run. Okay, there was that. In Game 2, Boston went on a 60-21 type of run. In Game 3, Miami opened on a 46-20 run, followed by a 57-33 run from Celtics to make it a game. And we had a 26-4 run by the Celtics to open Game 4. And then in Game 5, Trey, you said it was a 24-2 run over about 6.5 minutes, end of the third, into the fourth quarter. And then, so that score went from a 1-point game to suddenly Boston's up 23 points, and it was over. It's good. It's really
myself
insane
right now for not making a 22-2 reference on Twitter last night. I obviously botched that, unless they hit a 3 and it was 21-2. Yeah. I mean, it is crazy to see the runs like this, and neither team able to put a stop to the run when it starts happening. That's the crazy thing to me, considering how good both of these teams are defensively.
Anything else? I mean, the only other note I have. Just the Heat shooting an abysmal 15.6% from 3. 7 of 45.
Yeah, I saw Rockets fans were pretty excited about that. They're like, we're not the worst anymore after the 0 for 27 against the Warriors. I also liked that Grant Williams got the start in the second half. Ime Udoka says it's because Robert Williams was stretching. But Grant Williams said it's because he was pooping. I think it was the poop, personally.
Yeah.
It was the poop.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing that just happens. You know, you play the first half of basketball, you go back into the locker room.
You're loosened up.
Well, yeah, I'm tightened
Sweat.
up. After five,
Sweat.
so when did it happen? It happened because halftime is like 15, 16, 17 minutes long.
Yeah.
A little bit of time.
Yeah, so
You got to
he
hear,
sat
you
down
got to
for
maybe
10
hear what
minutes.
coach has to say at the first part.
So he sat
Can't
down
be in
at the
the camp.
12-minute mark or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just the timing seems off because there's 3 stories. See, there's also this stretch. Had to use the facilities, or it was a move to get Grant Williams out there to play alongside Al Horford to back up off Jimmy Butler. I mean, that's what I was buying at the beginning.
Sure.
Because that's they were just giving Jimmy Butler space, as you said, playing him like a big. Robert Williams could have helped there as well. So, yeah. He had to take care of business, whatever that was. Leg, butt, whatever.
Friday night, what do you think? Is this the Beantown Boys taking care of business here? Are they going to get the Bob Cousy Award and the Larry Bird Conference Finals MVP Award on their own award? Yeah, the ultimate homer. Will Larry Bird be there handing it out?
I guess so.
I think so.
Yeah.
If they win.
Yeah, I honestly, I just think the Heat's offense and Tyler Herro wasn't there last night, but even without him, they've had 79 against the Sixers at one point and 82 and 80 in the last 2 games.
They were up 5 at the half because the Celtics kept turning the ball over. They should have been up way more. Van Gundy pointed it out. They did not take advantage on a lot of those turnovers.
Yeah.
Where they botched fast breaks or just like could have scored and didn't, threw the ball away their own on the other end as well. Like they should have been up bigger.
Yeah, I mean, a game like this should sort of factor them. They like the grind, they like the tough, but it didn't work because they just didn't seem to have anyone flowing offensively. So, yes, I do think the Celtics close it out. They should. I think they are a better team. I think they're deeper. I think their defense is good. They're healthier. They've got better stars. So they should be able to finish it off from here. Just one more point now. I'm putting JD under the spot here because I just slacked him an image. I don't know. I know. I couldn't. I know you have it. I know you have it not on JD during the show, which is smart. But I wanted to bring it up because something weird happened last night. Now, I think it was photoshopped, but I'm not sure. I'm not
you
sure.
Got fake news? What's going on here?
So Tyler Herro obviously wasn't playing last night.
Yeah.
Now, there was an image floating around.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if it was photoshopped or not. I think it was.
Explain it for our
Pretty
listeners.
sure it was.
Okay,
While
so-
JD
so-
finds out.
Dancing nicely here.
Yeah, so Tyler Herro on the sideline, looking great, not playing. He had the glasses
Why did he
indoors.
look so great? Why do you guys keep saying that? He was wearing a white outfit with sunglasses.
Okay, he looked Miami.
Douchebag move.
Yeah,
honestly,
he looked
Jack.
very Miami. Now,
He blew out his hair. I think that's
Yeah.
what made him look
Okay.
good.
now
taller,
that goatee, I mean, that's drawn on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not real.
Right. Because it was going around, and there was a lot of people saying, because I've never seen him with facial hair, and all of a sudden he's going, I guess he could have.
I think
maybe.
people were leaning into the idea like he looked like a cocaine sort of dealer.
Yeah.
Real Miami vibes.
But I also was like, it could be real. I don't
pretty good
know.
Photoshop.
Yeah,
Sort of.
Yeah.
looks good. He looks like Tony Stark to me.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Yeah. The goatee is a little off kilter, but
Yeah.
it's pretty well
that
done.
one part on the side there.
Yeah.
I saw it. I knew it was Photoshopped because I saw him baby-faced earlier. Then I saw that.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, it does look good though.
I saw him babyface as well, and I thought maybe it's just the camera, the lights. I don't know. I hoped this was real. I suspected it wasn't. I just thought, why not have some fun there?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's really embraced the Miami douchey look. Like sunglasses inside, white shirt.
Just another blowout. That hair.
Yeah.
This is the 6th blowout of this series. Interesting.
That sucks.
Well, same question I asked Leigh. Are you guys? I guess I asked Trey yesterday. Like, whoever wins the pivotal Game 5, are they going on to win this series? I think you said, Trey, at the time, it's much more important for Miami to win Game 5. You still feel that way, I assume?
Yeah, it did feel like the series pivoted towards the Celtics last night. Just how good they were in that second half, and how Jaylen Brown was able to get untracked, and how Tatum was trusting the playmaking, and obviously the defense stuck around. And just seeing how beat down the Heat look right now, it's just tough to imagine them going on the road in what's going to be a raucous environment, no doubt. The Boston crowd has been better than the Miami crowd so far in the series. I assume it will be in an elimination game as well. It just feels like the Heat are not at full strength right now, and even at full strength, it's hard to see necessarily how they get to enough points to win this series.
They desperately need a Lowry 3-point explosion, where he has those games where he hits 4, 5, 6 threes. They so need those. And you're right, Tess. He looked like on a couple of ones he misses, he was just shaking his head why the hell won't this thing go in? They were fine looks for Lowry, like come off that pick top or step into it in transition. He hits those, but he can't right now at all. And he was horrible, and I love Lowry. He was brutal. Butler's brutal. I think he's got a good reason why he's been playing poorly these last couple games. And I thought Bam was just as bad, again, outside of like that little stretch where suddenly Bam woke up and was like, all right, maybe a little too late, but those guys got to step up.
Yeah, you got to feel terrible for Kyle Lowry as supporters of his, as somebody who came in and helped out and won a championship and knows that this is exactly his role. When things aren't working for the number one or the number two, here I am. I'm going to drop a shot in, but it just shows you've got to play basketball to be able to be good at basketball. I think he's been him coming in
like reps,
yeah, especially in the older days. He's got to be able to just continuously play, and he's been in and out of the lineup, and that's why I think it's so frustrating for him, because he knows these shots can go down, but he's just not in a rhythm, not in a flow. So there's an excuse there. There is an excuse for Jimmy Butler, and to give a little praise to Jimmy Butler, at least he went down firing last night. It wasn't
18 shots.
It wasn't a James Harden experience. He came in and started shooting right away. But I think this team is absolutely done. And to me, when Jaylen Brown dunked on this team midway through the fourth quarter and there wasn't any resistance from Bam Adebayo, Bam just kind of watched it. That's their big man who shut down the Celtics team a couple of years ago in the bubble, and he didn't jump. I think everybody knows that this thing is over. And it's not like last series for the Boston Celtics. They gave away Game 5. Were able to win Game 6 and Game 7, but I don't think this happens. I don't see the Heat doing that.
All right. Well, let's hear from the stream team. What do you got?
Well, Lowry is 3 for his last 23 from downtown, 8 for 39 in the playoffs from 3. So that explosion is
I know.
unlikely based on...
It's unlikely, but maybe he's due.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly due, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just not able to get that elevation. Those shots look flat.
They look flat. He's always had almost sort of a flat shot, but it looked even worse. Yeah. You're right. All right, let's hear from the stream team. Everybody watching, listening later. How's this go down on Friday night, Game 6? The Beantown Boys taking care of business, or can this veteran Heat team win again in Boston? They have done it, and maybe Butler or Lowry or Bam can take control and get this back for a Game 7. Let us know what you think. We're gonna take our first break. When we come back, we got a whole bunch of Is This News and still Tweet of the Night, so don't go anywhere. Okay, you guys know I'm running a marathon in about 3 weeks out in Washington State. You know this because I never stop talking about it or tweeting about it or Instagramming about it. It is what it is. But the goal I have myself this year is to qualify once again for Boston, and I will be doing that with the help of my favorite hydration product, Liquid IV. Love this stuff, and it works. 1 stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates faster and more efficiently than water alone. And Liquid IV has incredible hydration flavors like watermelon, lemon lime, strawberry, pina colada, and more. That more actually contains my favorite flavor, grape. Oh,
Grape.
Liquid IV grape. Delicious. I've almost reached the point where I don't like to drink water without a little Liquid IV in it, and I think that's maybe not great because it's that good. The product is too good. It contains 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. It's made with premium ingredients and has 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. That's why I love it for running. What makes Liquid IV so effective? Well, they tell me it's the science of cellular transport technology. CTT.
CTT.
That's right. They trademarked that too. Designed to enhance rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into the bloodstream. Gets in me faster. So grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code NODUNKS at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code NODUNKS at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today at liquidiv.com. Promo code NODUNKS.
There are so many factors that play into not only what kind of insurance we need, but what it will cost us, especially since insurance prices are on the rise. Now is the time to make sure you have the best insurance plans for your needs. Luckily for us, our friends at the Zebra will do the research for you and could save you over $900 a year doing it. The Zebra compares car and home quotes from every major insurance company side by side, giving you all the facts you need to make the right decision. They make the overly complicated task of securing coverage hassle-free. So no matter who you are or what you drive, the Zebra can find a policy that fits your specific needs. Because I know when it comes to insurance, whether it's a house or a car, you got to sort through all sorts of policies and different descriptions and different ideas. Well, the Zebra makes that decision easier for you. Compare and save in minutes. Show your support for the show by going to this special URL, thezebra.com/nodunks, and get your free quote today. That's THEZEBRA.com/nodunks.
There's no better feeling for a podcaster than opening up some ad copy and realizing, I already own this product. I don't have to read up on it, get to know it. No, I already have Everyman Jack body wash in my shower. I smell like sandalwood every single day because Everyman Jack scents are inspired by the outdoors. Everyman Jack put that experience in a bottle. I don't know why I made that sound effect.
Bottle sound.
Yeah, liquid going into a bottle. That's a hard sound to replicate, and I'm not sure why I took that chance, but here we are. Their men's care products feature naturally derived ingredients, outdoor-inspired scents, and responsible packaging. I'm already using sandalwood, but now I have the sea salt body wash, eucalyptus mint body wash to try. Haven't tried them because I only use one body wash at a time.
Oh,
you know, I don't put multiple in there. Finish one.
Same here.
But I did put on the sandalwood deodorant today from Everyman Jack.
Ooh. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Wow.
Yes.
Not bad at all.
The Everyman Jack has every product you need, from body wash, deodorant, and skincare products to shampoos, balms, and oils to tame and nourish your hair and beard. Everyman Jack Men's Care, naturally derived, outdoor inspired. Look for them at Target, Walmart, Amazon, or everymanjack.com.
Oh, yeah. A little reminder, hit the like button. Subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Share the show. Tell a friend. Be a hero. Leigh, forgot to ask you off the top of the show. How'd the graduation go yesterday?
Well, yeah, it was fine. Look, it was a little subdued in there, though, to be honest. A lot of parents, I think we were all, thinking the same thing that could have happened the day before. So it was a fun celebration to see our boys and girls ending pre-K, but maybe not as joyous as it may have been at other times.
You did say Oscar got an award, though.
Yes.
He got MVP.
he did win MVP.
MVP of pre-K.
Yes.
Who won the Larry Bird trophy?
Yeah, who says people are soft now just handing out participation awards?
Way to go, Oscar!
MVP.
Yes.
Why are you smirking? Why are you laughing?
Well, the old Simpson joke of every kid gets an award day was really it. Every single child received some award.
I see.
His MVP.
But not every kid was MVP.
No. But it was for being very helpful to the teacher and to his students, and always being available to help them, is what the
Most
description
valuable
was.
pupil.
Yes. So yes, he picked up his first MVP trophy.
That's awesome.
5 years old.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to Is This News? Here it is. Is This News? Headlines for the guys and for everyone joining us live and listening, watching later. And you just tell me after I give you that headline, yeah, that's news. Or that's not news. What's wrong with you? First one, ESPN. You ever heard of it?
Yeah, I have.
I don't know why. I really enjoy saying it every time. ESPN. The headline was, this is a weird headline. Tatum, thankful for making all NBA first team, but he wants rules around voting. So, Tass, is this news?
I like the way Jason Tatum approached this.
Okay.
He was asked about making the first team, but then he brought up, why isn't it positionless? It doesn't really make sense that Joel Embiid was second in MVP voting, but is on the second team. I get what you're saying, Tatum. I totally get what you're saying. It makes sense. I think he's onto something. What if MVP voting just doubled over for all NBA voting?
Ooh.
Just replicate. You just need one vote. One vote for these media members.
Whoa.
Vote for the MVP, and then the top 15, regardless of position, as Jason Tatum said, are the all NBA teams. Because you go into it, it's perfect. Actually, it's duplicated across the board because the 12 guys that got MVP votes are on the 3 first teams of all NBA.
Okay.
So there's
any vote, not just
every vote.
Yeah.
Every vote. So and it works like for first, second, and third. So the top 5 in MVP voting were Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Booker, and Doncic. So matching what the first team was, but dropping Tatum to the second for Embiid. Perfect. And then the next 5 in voting were Tatum himself on the second team, just like he said he should be, sort of. Morant, Curry, CP, and DeRozan. So you got Tatum for Embiid, 3 other correct, Morant, Curry, and DeMar DeRozan, but CP kind of jumped from the 3rd team, which he was on. So, you know what I mean? It's pretty accurate. Then LeBron and Durant were the 11th and 12th in MVP voting, and LeBron was on the 3rd team, and Durant was on the 2nd team. Trey, Siakam, and Towns, the only guys on the All-NBA team that didn't get MVP votes. But maybe you have to vote for 15 guys. I guess that doesn't really work. But anyway,
Jesus, that sounds like sicko skeet stuff right there.
Well, it works. It kind of works. It's positionless basketball. We're kind of punished, I guess, if that's the right word. Embiid for being a center, and he goes to the 2nd team. So yeah, I think Tatum's onto something.
He also has thoughts though on who sort of should be voting on these too, right? Is a part of the equation because of what happened last year with him and him missing out on a ton of money and not making a particular team. So he's also this always comes up, right? Who should be voting on these awards? Should it be players and coaches? Should we stick with the media? Does anybody know anything?
Yeah, that's the thing to me. This kind of played out like even Tatum doesn't really have a solution for how this should be done. He said there's not really a set rules on who should qualify. There should be some rules in place. I don't know exactly, but maybe you should have to play a certain amount of games, or maybe you're a playoff team or not. Right. He's basically just saying something ain't right and it needs to change, but nobody can figure it out because should it be the players who, when we see at All-Star voting, vote for their own teammates and themselves and don't take it super seriously? Should it be the coaches who everybody says don't vote on it anyways and give it to the assistants? Should it be the general managers who have a huge financial incentive with regards to this voting? Like, it doesn't feel like there's a perfect solution to this. I saw on Twitter last night that Miles Brown suggested in an NBA Supreme Court, you get 9 legends and they make rulings on rules and awards and all that kind of stuff. Why not? Why not?
Wow.
Well, Jaylen Rose shouldn't be on that Supreme Court. I mean, he's given guys votes who played 29 games.
Yeah.
He admitted it was a mistake on ESPN yesterday. But
that's again though that because I believe the players are the most qualified because I do think overall there is way more respect of like, okay, I like this guy, he deserves votes, and they've played, so they can repay it like that. But this is an incident where it's like, no, there's no justification for Kyrie Irving being on an All-NBA team when he played 29 games. Unless he was averaging 65 a game and they won 28 of 29, maybe.
Right.
Didn't happen. But I also believe that the games played should be marked into the criteria. You should have to make a certain point, 75% of the games. I don't think that's unreasonable. That will also maybe encourage
players to play.
Exactly. Yeah. To be like, well, hang on a minute, I've had a great season. I've got to play 2 or 3 more games down the stretch here to qualify for that. And then they go out and play. So
that's one rule you would like to see like implemented here for all NBA or maybe a lot of these awards. An X amount of games played, a percentage of games played, and that's just, if you don't hit it, you're not in the conversation.
Ineligible, yeah. I mean, there has to be some sort of qualification period. Now, there'll be some guys who'll be like, well, I was injured, I couldn't play. Well, okay, bad luck, you miss out.
Right.
But then, of course, it filters down to like the incentives in their bonuses and their contracts of where you finish as to whether or not you can sign the super max or the super duper max or the super duper whooper duper duper looper max, whatever that is.
The looper max. It's a big one.
You know, it is an imperfect situation as it is right now. But I also believe very much so that it should be positionless. Kind of what Tash saying. If you finish top 3 in MVP and you're not in the All-NBA, there's a problem there because you were one of the best 3 in the league. But then there are
minimum second at your position.
Exactly, but there are 3 other guys better than you, or you know, finished in the All NBA team because you qualified, overlapped at another guy's position.
I think Embiid is the only person in NBA history to finish runner-up in MVP and not be on the first team, and he's done it twice.
Right, yeah.
So and that's his position with the way we do these still.
Yeah,
because there's only one center spot.
Yeah,
which is
a couple guards and a couple forwards.
It's just silly because it's an award, it's an accolade, it's not a game. You're not going out there to play and qualify. So you should get that honor. If you were top 3 in the league, you're automatically on the All-NBA team.
Yeah, I guess I'll push back on sometimes like some of the current players saying, why are these 100 sports writers, like, what do they have to say about this and why do they get a vote? It's like, well, we're just proving with Jaylen Rose, a former player, who I guess now is a broadcaster, but like there are going to be shitty selections from current players, former players, GMs, coaches, broadcasters, podcasters, like it doesn't matter. There's going to be shitty selections, and like they should be embarrassed and they should be called out. Not that anything really ever comes from it.
No,
like I mean that is voting for Kyrie for one of these positions is insane.
And that
29 games,
yeah.
like that's a joke. And then he couldn't. What was his reason besides it was a mistake? What does it mean mistake? He filled it out wrong. What a similar name is
Well,
it? He did it for content, and he does it because it doesn't really matter. Is the other part. But like that's shameful, really.
It is, and that's where a qualification of games played would have eliminated that from even happening. But also, if you do vote for him, then Jaylen, get off. You can't vote next year. You get banned for 5 years if you make a stupid
Well, if we
vote.
had the NBA Supreme Court,
exactly.
you're right.
Yeah,
He's got to go make his case, and
Or you
they
have
rule
to,
on it.
There's a minimum games played is good. A minimum games watched for broadcasters, etc. is good as well.
Clock in.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
You have to video yourself. Yeah, clock in is good. I mean, watching.
You got to hold your phone like this the whole time.
Yeah, we need your game tape as well. How close are you paying attention?
Well,
How often are your eyes locked on the screen?
Because players are going to vote for guys that they think are good basketball players. People were really upset that Kyrie Irving wasn't on the top 75 list. Andre Iguodala said, "How is this guy not part of the top 75 list?" So they're going to find a way to put it. They're going to rank the top 15 players who they think are in the game, and I guess Jaylen Rose was watching Kyrie Irving during a good game one day and said, "Oh, this guy's a top 15 player in the NBA," but overall his season was not. Kendrick Perkins did the same with the all rookie vote. He put Trey Murphy of the New Orleans Pelicans and Jose Alvarado on his second team over Herbert Jones, who was their teammate and was a real factor on their team. To call those guys out, everybody's going to make bad picks. It's true.
Okay, next one.
Okay, bye.
Bleacher Report. You ever heard of it?
Wow, yeah.
Well, I want to know how much you guys follow the sport. I'm testing you. If you guys are going to get one of these votes down the line, I got to know that you read Bleacher Report. Do you?
I used to write for Bleacher Report.
Okay, good. You're in. Here's your vote.
Thanks.
You're just going to vote for Aussies, so that's going to be your issue. Okay, Kevin Durant reportedly hasn't spoken to the Nets front office since the playoff sweep. Is this news, Jake Kirby?
This isn't news. What? This isn't news, but it might be news. To start with, I don't think it's a big deal at all that Kevin Durant hasn't talked with the Nets. They've been out of the playoffs for a month. We know he traveled to the Euro League to watch that as soon as the Nets were eliminated. He's barely even been active on Twitter this week. I think he's got one tweet this week. To me, he's just taking some me time.
Yeah.
There's not much to do Nets-wise right now either. They don't currently have a pick. I think they can swap with the Sixers this year if they want to, or next year if they want to. But they made their big move at the trade deadline. So now for the Nets, it's like, we got to get Ben Simmons healthy. We got to figure out what our veteran role players are going to be. So to me, KD tuning out right now, it's fine. The season is still happening. Who cares?
Okay.
The bigger news, though, is that the Nets may not extend Kyrie Irving, as Christian Winfield at the New York Daily News reported. Due to Kyrie's personal decision not to get vaccinated and unpredictable injury history, the Nets are hesitant and now outright unwilling to give him a long-term extension. And I buy that at least a little bit based on the Sean Marks press conference right after the Nets were eliminated, where he's basically saying Kyrie needs to get with the program here. We need to have everybody on the same page going forward. Now, Kyrie has a player option for next season, but he's going to want a longer deal because in the 3 seasons he's been with the Nets, Kyrie's played 103 games. Kevin Durant played 90 games, and he missed an entire season with an Achilles injury. So I'm almost more curious at this point if Kevin Durant has talked to Kyrie Irving rather than talking to the Nets. Because if KD's still on board with Kyrie, the Nets are going to be as well. But if not, I'm monitoring the extension. Like, if the extension comes, all good in Brooklyn, at least between the different players and personnel there. But if not, Kyrie becomes the best available free agent for sure. Also with a ton of baggage. so this is something. I don't think the not talking to the Nets is something, but the Nets not being that enthused with Kyrie Irving, that is something.
What do you think?
I wouldn't extend him at all. No way. He's just proved too much that he just is not committed. And sometimes it's injury, sometimes it's just personal issues, sometimes he's just flaky. So I would not lock him into a 3 or 4 year extension. He's got the one, as Trey mentioned there, the player option for next season. You can extend him basically for as long as you want after that if you choose to. If he's looking for 4 years, I'd say the Nets, no thanks. We'll give you maybe 1 if you want, but that's it. He's a great player when he plays, but he's also, you just can't rely on him. You can't trust him. You don't know where he's going to go. You don't know what he's going to be doing. So there's no need to lock him up for that. Almost dare him to say, all right, go and find a team to give you a 4-year contract. I'm not sure there'd be too many teams saying, we'll lock Kyrie Irving up, because they know he's a risk.
Yeah, the counter to that is what Trey was saying, though. If Durant says, no, Kyrie, you're locking him up because I want him here, then you've got more of a decision, because now it's like 2 guys here that you've got to like worry about.
Well, you do, but
if they're linked that tight still.
But you've also locked Kevin Durant up already. So there's, I mean,
yeah,
if Kevin Durant,
if you piss off Kevin Durant, he's like, trade me. I don't want to be here.
Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
That's your concern.
I think Kevin Durant is probably going, I don't know what I'm going to get out of Kyrie either. So Kevin Durant, no doubt, carries some weight in the front office, but I don't think to the point where the Joseph Tsai and Sean Mark's like, well, if he wants Kyrie to get a 4-year, then we give him a 4-year. I don't think he...
All right, they did it with DeAndre Jordan, basically. But maybe they've learned their lesson. I don't know. This is interesting, I guess. What do you think, Todd?
Yeah, totally interesting. If they pick them as a tandem, or if they don't pick Kyrie and Kevin Durant says, all right, I'm out of here as well. So that's the duo. If I understand maybe they haven't talked to Kevin Durant, but it doesn't really matter at this point. And I think they're in some sort of communication. What does talk actually mean? What does talk mean these days?
I would say any sort of communication. Yeah, that's talking. If we're texting, we're talking.
I think they talk.
Do you think this is wrong then?
Well, I think talk. You can be it's like, did I listen to an audiobook, or did I read a book if I listened to an audiobook? Did you talk if you texted? I think we're getting into a gray area, and Christian Whitfield's got his sources, but reading into this a little bit more, if you remember during the Mikhail Prokhorov years of the Brooklyn Nets, his president, Irina Pavlova, she was sort of like the front-facing, did a lot of stuff for the Brooklyn Nets. She was there for 7 years and still sort of in touch with the Nets front office. She said, seriously, if you really think that Sean Marks hasn't spoken to his star player in a month, then I've got a couple bridges I'll give you a good deal on. So she's basically saying, of course, KD is in the know. And
are you saying Miles Bridges is going to be traded to the Brooklyn Nets? They could use him.
Who did you reference earlier? Miles Brown. Miles Brown.
Miles Brown.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of good names out there these days. Bridges and Browns.
So you think there has been?
Well, whatever. Yeah. I think Kevin Durant is linked to Kyrie. If they say bug off to Kyrie, then if Kyrie doesn't want to be a part of it, whether it's a shorter extension, then I wonder if that alienates KD. I think that's a legitimate idea, even if he is signed.
Next one. From Hoopswire. Have you honestly ever heard of it? That's just a straight up question. I'm not even
heard of Hoops?
Nothing sarcastic. I've never heard of this site. Anyway, Hoopswire, little aggregation here. NBA reportedly eyeing expansion into Seattle and Las Vegas. Leigh, is this news?
Well, this has been rumoured for a while now, and it really picked up steam during the shutdown for COVID there, because the NBA lost a lot of revenue, and apparently one way to recover some of that revenue is to expand, because it's a $2.5 billion buy-in, apparently. So there's a lot of billionaires out there who want to get in, and they know that these opportunities don't pop up very often. Right. So if you can get a couple of billionaires to come in and cough up $2.5 billion, and then they get to distribute a lot of that amongst the other owners, it's a cash cow. So I think it is likely to happen at some point in the future. How soon? I'm not sure.
Yeah, the rumor is about 224.
Yeah, that
the
seems a little soon for me. I would say maybe a year or two later. But I think I mean, that's the point.
Personally,
we're halfway through 2022. Can we get them 2 up and running within 18 months, 2 years? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know there's
Vegas can do anything.
Well, true, and I know there is an arena in Seattle, I believe, where the Kraken plays, and that that was new. So maybe. Okay, maybe they can get him in there. But I think it is just a matter of time before it happens. I'm not sure it's for the right reasons. I think we have a lot of teams in the NBA through every season that basically stink from the start. There's maybe 5 to 6 teams that you're like, they're tanking, they're not even competing. Adding 2 more dilutes the pool of talent a little bit more. But money talks and bullshit walks, as I learned from watching Twins. So, Danny DeVito, classic line.
Movie, yeah.
Nice knowing you. See you later. So it's going going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And but unfortunately, it'd be great to be back in Seattle for sure. Yeah. I'm not sure. Las Vegas to me is such a contradiction because gambling is allowed now, but you're not allowed to gamble if you're a player. But we're also going to put a team in that city, Sin City, where there's so many vices and things for young men with a lot of money and a lot of time on their hands to get caught up in. We're going to put a team right there and then say, don't gamble and don't get into trouble.
Can you bet on the Vegas sports teams in Nevada, like when they're playing? Like, I don't know if you can. Like, can I bet on an Aces game when I'm there watching, or not there, but, obviously placing a bet in Nevada? I don't know. I don't know what the ruling is on that.
That's a good question.
The answer is yes, but no.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it at that.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but the Seattle arena, I thought the Kraken played in a new arena, but that's an old arena.
Is it?
That's been revitalized a bit. 1962. I believe they.
Yeah, that's old.
Key Arena, right? It's the same arena.
So
that is key. Yeah.
So they did some work on it, though?
Yeah. So it's, doable, obviously. There's an NHL team playing there, and the Storm play there as well, I do believe. So, yeah.
Okay, what if we have those teams in Seattle and Las Vegas? Those are two Western Conference teams.
That's right.
Somebody's got to come east.
Memphis and Minnesota.
Okay.
Those are your two teams coming eastern.
New Orleans? New Orleans could be.
Ooh, New Orleans. That's a solid one. I forgot about New Orleans.
Yeah.
I was checking Oklahoma City to see which was further east between Minnesota and Oklahoma City, but New Orleans is a lot further east than either of them. Memphis and New Orleans?
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. Sounds good. Throw them in the Southeast Division. The Hawks, the Heat, Magic, probably move the Wizards out of that one, right? Because they're a little too far north.
Wow.
This guy's done some geography work. You're right.
No, well, except for completely forgetting about the city of New Orleans. Other than that.
Well, they might be on the move, though, as well. That's not totally out of the range of possibility.
What year is that happening?
2025.
I hope they're in it for the right reasons.
Are they in the Northwest, like Oklahoma City, or in the Midwest? They're probably Midwest, I suppose. Oklahoma City, we know, classic Northwest team.
Okay, Trey, what do you think of expansion? Like, you think this is going to happen? You think these are viable spots? I mean, I think we all agree Seattle getting a team back, of course, but the Vegas portion, what do you think?
Yeah, it is weird that if the Sonics left Seattle for the Thunder because they didn't like the arena in Seattle, and then they go back to the same arena, that will be weird. And if I were a Sonics fan, it would be a little bit bittersweet, right? To be like, we lost our team, but now we got a team back. So that is strange to me. It does feel like they would need a state-of-the-art arena. Vegas, they're going to do it, no problem. But I think it's only a matter of time before expansion happens, even if this is just kind of, eyeing expansion. Like Leigh said, it's a cash cow for all of the other governors in the league. So they're certainly going to want for it to happen just because you got to pay that huge chunk of change just to even get in the mix.
So we know the Seattle team, of course, would be named the Seattle Supersonics. Any early ideas for the Las Vegas team, Leigh?
Well, just one thing, though, but the Sonics wouldn't, because their history is with OKC.
No, they kept it. They kept it. That was like a part of the deal.
But don't you see
you might see it on broadcast and stuff, but I'm almost positive that they have it still. Because I thought all the records, they have all the stuff like that.
Well, I hope that's true. I thought it was the other way because I thought you hear they've made the finals and stuff when that's all that.
I think that's incorrect.
It's nonsense. Okay, well that's good. That's good.
So, I feel like Charlotte keeping the Hornets.
But they
history. They went to
to New Orleans.
Yeah, then they became a Bobcat.
That one gets really confusing.
We don't
even.
I don't know. Let's go to Vegas. Let's go back to Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. What do you name in Vegas?
Well, yeah. What's a name you would team there? The Las Vegas. Heat's already been taken. The Las Vegas Dry. Because it's so dry out there.
Nice. Oh, I think that'll take off.
You want to go see the dry plates?
Well, you got the Thunder, you got the Heat, you got the Sun. So, Las Vegas. My buddy Grish, he hates it in Vegas when people go, "Ooh, it's a dry heat." Well, of course it is. You came to Vegas. You didn't expect it to be hot. Exactly. So
they built a city in the middle of the goddamn desert. Of course it's dry. Okay, dry. The Las Vegas Dry. Can you do better than that?
Yeah.
I think you can too.
I don't know what I'm going to come up with. What about the Las Vegas Lasso?
Round
up.
Yeah.
I love alliteration. You could see a Maverick type logo. Yeah, a guy with a lasso, it's on a horse. Okay, nobody's really digging
don't love
that.
it. I gotta say, I don't have anything better.
Would they go like gambling related, casino
I
related?
mean, we got aces for WNBA.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so
Deuces, not cool. Very not cool. Towers.
Toronto nearly named their team.
Yeah, there's
that
a lot
back
of
in the day.
towers in Las Vegas.
Absolutely, there are.
What other
Straight up Las Vegas money.
money?
It's called the money.
Money. Fun to say when you hit a shot.
Yeah.
Money. What's a good desert animal? Like a good desert creature? Rattlesnakes.
I mean, what's the hockey team?
Camel?
What's the
Golden Knights.
Oh,
right?
what about Vipers?
Las Vegas Vipers sounds good.
That sounds like hold on,
something.
that is something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like like a weird football team?
Something,
Some
yeah.
weird league?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sticking with the lassos.
All right.
Rodeo themed. Maybe I'm just in the flame saddle dome mode, but okay, Vipers.
I think we could do an entire podcast on we make it like Shark Tank sort of.
Ooh.
Presentations we come equipped with of
not
what
bad.
we're doing in Las Vegas. Write it down, put it in the Slack.
All right.
JD, do you have any ideas for the Las Vegas NBA team that we're going to see according to Leigh in maybe 25, 26, definitely not 24?
Do I have any?
Yeah. We're going to Vegas soon here, hopefully for Summer League.
Yeah, what about the Bamboo Boys? Las Vegas.
The Las Vegas Bamboo
Boys. Or
Boys.
something like that. Yeah.
I've definitely created a team of us on an NBA 2K called the Las Vegas Bamboo Boys.
Great.
That's good.
I freaking love it.
What about the Las Vegas bottle services?
Ooh, not bad.
Las Vegas, what's the cheap breakfast place we go to called? Cantina. All right, let's hear from everybody in the stream team, everybody listening, watching later. What's your best name for the Las Vegas NBA team?
I just had a
You
good
just
one.
had something?
Okay, we can stick. This is a podcast. We can stick around.
We could. Let me slip this in for our Canadian fans out there. Maybe Tass won't care. No one else will. Toronto Sun. You've heard of it.
Delivered it a few times.
NBA stars commit to Canada basketball for 3 years. Is this news? This is absolutely news. I think you would agree with me, Tass.
Sometimes the Sun doesn't produce news, but this is
That's
news.
true. Good point. The senior men's national team, so Canada basketball here, GM Rowan Barrett, who is father of RJ Barrett, head coach Nick Nurse. What they did here on Tuesday, I think, is potentially very big news and hopefully the start of something special for Canada basketball, who's trying to get back to the Olympics for the first time since 2000, when I was in Australia watching them play, which is really bad.
Yeah.
But they have got a commitment here. Like, they're calling it a summer core, committing 3 years, these guys. And that is awesome because, you got to qualify and get all that, and you'll hopefully sort of have some familiarity and some just having straight up commitments that these guys are signed on to play for a while here. This list includes, by the way, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, O'Shea Brissett, Dwight Powell, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kem Birch, and others, Corey Joseph, Kelly Olynyk, and all this. So they're signed on here for FIBA World Cup qualifying. You got next summer's FIBA World Cup, and then in the summer of 2024, the Paris Olympics, hopefully, as they try and get there. So I think this is obviously huge news, and it's trying to fix the problem, Tass, of with Canada basketball at least. It's we have all this talent in the NBA, but every time we got to get ready for one of these tournaments, hey, could you come play for us? Any interest? Is your summer free? Could you come maybe give us 4 weeks and play with some guys maybe you don't know, and maybe we'll get it. They're saying, hey, you are on the team. And this is the other thing. People are going to be like, where's Wiggins? Where's Tristan Thompson? From what I can tell with this idea, Chris Boucher, they could in theory play, but only if some of these commitments, these 14, an injury happens, they had to fall out for whatever reason, things change, of course, over a span of 3 years, then maybe they could play. But the hey, you're in, the little ticket first is to these guys that actually are saying, you have my word that for the next couple of years here, I'm in on this program. So I think this is really big news for Canada basketball.
It is a wonderful 3-year commitment. 14 guys on that list. Not just a very short list, but a pretty in-depth list with a couple near all-stars, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jamal Murray, and then they just have to get their one all-star. Andrew Wiggins, remember that? He's at all-star.
Yeah.
But yeah, those 14 guys have priority, but Wiggins and Chris Boucher could join. I don't know if anyone's asking for Tristan Thompson to
maybe
join.
not at this point.
Just kidding. I mean, Tristan Thompson, wonderful. No, probably not. I mean, he's in the latter part of his career, but a 3-year commitment. Jokes aside, Tristan Thompson, jokes aside, this is a solid team. Again, I just mentioned a couple guys who are at the top of this list, but really good in-depth guys like Lou Dort, Dylan Brooks, and RJ Barrett. This team is stacked.
Yeah.
isn't it?
So, it should be enough to make the Olympics.
God, yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
Medal, who knows? Don't worry about that. Get there.
Get there.
When do they actually try to qualify? That was a little confusing to me because
FIBA's very confusing.
in this it says Canada basketball will draw from its extensive non-NBA pool during winter qualifying in November and February. That's for, I guess, the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifier. And then July 1st, they've got the Dominican Republic in Hamilton. July 4th, they play in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah, it's confusing because you can qualify and then not have to play in particular things and stuff like that. I don't know the exact breakdown. I think the idea is, I guess, these big names are, there for the big tournaments.
They got to beat the Dominican
summer
Republic
tournaments generally.
and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
But you're right. There are other players in the system that are going to have to help them win some of these games, whether or not they're going to need them to qualify for some of these tournaments. But obviously, this is better than not, because it's hopefully getting rid of the whole, is that guy going to play or is he not going to play?
That's what Team USA did when they were struggling. They were like, we've got a lot of talent, but nobody knows how to play together. Just come and show up in the summer. So we have a little bit of continuity and a little bit of chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing as an Australian, what I love is seeing Joe and Paddy and Andrew Bogut when he played, and these guys always turning up for their country no matter what. And that, to me, is what has been missing from Canada in the last decade or longer, where guys are like, I'm sorry, I'm taking my summer off.
Yeah.
You should be really stoked to go and play in the Olympics, especially, and the World Cup for your country. And if they can get a lot of these star players to commit, I think that is going to encourage the other ones who are thinking about it to be like, yeah, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
When Australia won the bronze last year in Tokyo,
that's
huge moment for Australian men, I should say, winning the bronze there. Huge moment for basketball, because we've been competing and playing for decades and not being able to win and being close. So finally to break through, that Canada needs to be in these tournaments. It's not good enough that they're not there. So hopefully this is a change of things.
All right. Any other notes on that?
I think it started. I think the prestige of this basketball organization has started. That's why you get these commitments. It's happening. I think they've done a good job these last few years. Rowan Barrett, the Nick Nurse commitment. It's happening.
Yeah. You got to catch up to what the women are doing, who are obviously very successful at that stage. Okay, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, TK's got Tweet of the Night, so don't go anywhere.
If you're anything like No Dunks, then you like sports and you don't care who knows. Well, if you're a sports liker like us, then you've got to check out The Lead. The Lead is a sports podcast from Wondery that brings you the most important and interesting stories from the world of sports. With so much news from both college and the pros, from football to basketball and more, hosts Anders Kelto and Tiffany Oshinsky cut through the noise and tell you the most important stories that you need to hear. When a team wins a championship, The Lead has the story from the locker room. When a key trade goes down, The Lead delivers the behind-the-scenes details. How might Brittany Griner get out of Russia? Who were the 2 surprise winners of the NFL draft? How did Ime Udoka become the Can Man? And what is the Can Man? The Lead covers the big stories, the small stories, and everything important in between. Make listening to The Lead a part of your daily routine, and you'll be in the know when it comes to the biggest moments in sports and culture. Listen to The Lead on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or you can listen ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app.
Hey, I find it difficult finding the motivation to work out. I do. I'd rather eat. I'd rather eat a deep-fried mushroom. Or an enchilada. Either, both, one in the other, anything. But when I want to get back on the wagon, I rely on my Peloton community. I love a workout buddy, and there are over 100 of you No Dunks faithful out there using the No Dunks hashtag on Peloton. I can check out any of the classes that you guys have done, see if it piques my interest, or I check out what my friend Chief Keith Robinson is doing on Peloton. You guys know Keith Robinson.
Definitely.
Let's see what workout he just did. Okay. Oh, he did a 10-minute core workout. I can do that. No equipment necessary, just the app, and it feels easy because I didn't have to look for it, just lose that barrier there, that bar. And it feels fresh because I've never seen it before, which is like most workouts on Peloton, because Peloton trainers are doing live sessions daily that get posted almost immediately. And there are all sorts of disciplines. It's easier to stick to your goals when you keep your workouts interesting, right? Peloton has a workout for every goal and mood. De-stress from a long day with 30 minutes of strength or 20 minutes of cardio, or do a quick 15-minute total body class before work. Stay motivated while having fun with bike workouts, yoga, meditation, dance, cardio, and more. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. That's ONEPELOTON.com.
Okay, back here in the Classic Factory, it's time for Tweet of the Night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Tweet of the night. It's me. But before we get into Tweet of the Night, I thought about my Las Vegas team name.
All right.
Flamingos.
Oh, okay.
Las Vegas Flamingos. An historic casino there.
Yep.
In Las Vegas. Also, a weird bird.
Yep.
Tall as well. I think it fits perfectly.
It's good.
I wonder
Pink
if
unis.
Yeah.
pink unis. That's very solid. That was a nice. Pink is so hot right now.
Pink is so hot right now.
Yeah.
You see the influence.
Yeah. I wonder if there are any flamingos there though. Because I was just in Vegas and I said I would love to go. I forced my wife to go see the flamingo habitat behind the Flamingo Hotel.
Oh.
Not a single flamingo.
Not a single flamingo.
They're on vacation right now.
Fly south for the winter?
I guess
It's not winter.
It wasn't winter.
Yeah,
but close
problem.
enough. Anyways, there used to be a habitat back there behind the hotel, and I remember it as a young lad, and I really liked it. Really? And then going back years later, it's not that nice. That hotel has been there forever, as you said.
Like 1940s.
Yeah. Anyways, historic. You're right. Good one.
Nice. Okay, so Tweet of the Night comes to us from an NBA player, Joel Embiid. Ever heard of him?
I have.
Yeah, he's good. Joel Embiid tweeted last night, as the Miami Heat were losing, Miami needs another star. Oh!
What are you doing?
Oh, got the Philly fans fired up. Got the Miami Heat fans fired up as well. But then he followed it up. Boston just has too many weapons. I wasn't just talking about the Heat. I'm just watching the game. To which he followed up once again. Okay, y'all are stupid. LMAO. 4 crying, laughing emojis.
Who could misinterpret a tweet like that? I mean, come on. His former star, he was just praising Jimmy Butler, how he loved playing with him. Now he's struggling, and poor old Joel. It's just a simple tweet, completely
Just an
misinterpreted.
observation.
Exactly.
Not wrong though.
No.
I wonder if he's spoken to his front office since the season ended.
You talking? You talking?
So there are some funny tweets, I assume, going back Joel's way.
I saw that
yeah.
Clutch Points, like, with the quickness, sent a tweet of Joel in a Heat jersey playing alongside
Jeez.
Jimmy Butler.
How do they do it?
How do they do it? They just got it ready. I think they just got it ready. Because
have
they
a
know Joel
database?
Embiid is going to be a Heat at some point.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
Lock it in?
Yes, I would lock it in. Especially once the Heat come up a little bit short with the current version of the team they have here. Maybe you put together an expiring Kyle Lowry contract, play his last season in Philadelphia. Bam Adebayo, a young star you can build around. Joel, come to Miami. Everybody works hard. Everybody wants to be the man.
Jesus. Yes.
Shaq went to Miami, didn't he?
He sure did.
Oh, interesting.
All right. Game 5, Western Conference Finals. Tonight. Is it a gentleman's sweep? That's the real question. Leigh, what are you watching for in Game 5 here between the Warriors and the Mavs?
Did the Mavericks go to Golden State just for an end of season sort of trip? You know, are they
It's like a last get together?
Yeah, are they like, hey, we didn't get swept, so you know, doesn't really matter. That's the question for me. Do they come out and believe they can win? Because as we saw there in Game 4, they hit threes and they win the game. But to me, the Warriors also had a bit of a like, we're going home anyway. Let's and the vibe around the whole night wasn't there for them. So I would love it if the Mavericks could cause some chaos and get a win tonight. I would love it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Warriors. I think the Mavericks are going to play the same way, just fire away from threes, and if they're hitting them, maybe they're a chance. But if they're stinking the joint up, this one could be over very early.
What do you think, Tassler? What are you watching for?
Well, I think Jason Kidd has some bulletin board material. Everybody is picking, not only the Warriors for the series, but for this particular game. The Athletic writers did it top to bottom, every single one. So I think Jason Kidd likes to use that as motivation. I don't think the Mavs are going there just to hang out, to be in San Fran one more night, because they impressed me in Game 4 and their fight level. So the Warriors are going to have to win this one. The Mavs aren't giving it away. But I do believe the Warriors are going to get it done as well. But hopefully J. Kidd puts that Athletic article right on the bulletin board, because I think I think anything can help right now. Anything can help.
Do you think when he puts it up, he goes, "This is from The Athletic"? Has anybody heard of it?
Anybody heard of it?
Jim Cato, you ever heard
Headquarters.
of
The Athletic headquarters are right there.
Trey, give me something to watch for Game 5 tonight. What do you got your eye on?
Keep your eyes on the Mavs dribble penetration.
Okay.
They did well against the zone and man
Yep.
in Game 4. I like what Jason Kidd said afterwards. Nice thing about them playing zone is it means they can't guard us one-on-one. Oh, bars from Jason Kidd. It's kind of true, though. They did a really good job, I thought, in Game 4 of basically forcing the switch and making Steph Curry have to guard on the defensive end. They would bring it up. They would flip the guy at the last second. So Curry was trying to do a little help. Suddenly he has to actually be the guy guarding. And then, like we talked about on yesterday's show, overload against the zone was working.
Yeah.
Now, it feels like perhaps the Warriors found a solution to that in the fourth quarter. They started just basically playing a lot harder to take away the corner threes. But the Mavs getting into the paint got them a lot better looks from the three-point line. So they got to score inside. They got to score from outside. They got to play a perfect game. We've seen it once, basically, from the Mavs so far, and even that was a harrowing fourth quarter. So we shall see how things play out tonight. I would be leaning Warriors.
Yes, I am also leaning Warriors. Top hats out, gentlemen sweep. But let's hear from everybody. Predictions, drop them in the stream team. Leave them in the comments. Who's winning Game 5 tonight? We'll be back tomorrow to break it all down. We're back later to talk Survivor over on the No Buffs YouTube feed, and it will be flipped into a podcast soon after that, talking about last night's season finale of Survivor 42. So join us there. Got a special guest swinging by for the first portion of that show. Email in your NBA questions here to No Dunks, though. NoDunks@theathletic.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok @NoDunksInc. And get yourself a subscription to The Athletic. Have you ever heard of it?
I have a subscription to The Athletic.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Well, go to theathletic.com/NoDunks if you don't have one, so they know that we sent you. And there are a few Denver jerseys left. This Vancouver one, she gone. But Denver, there's a couple left in large and extra large sizes. So go to nodunks.com if you want to grab one of those. Fun show today. Thank you so much for joining us live. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, when they name them the Las Vegas Flamingos, know who called it first? It was this guy. This guy over here.
Embrace the day, people.